And here we are, All the Hypocrisy podcast. I am in my series of 2017 interviews. Here we are. I'm excited and pumped to have this guy with me, Ronald Raygun. Sir.
What's up, man? I have a real name too. Do you want to give my real name? It doesn't matter to me. Whatever.
I think that, one of the great things about you, Ronald, Stephen, is that you can use your real and fake name.
I know, it's great.
I'm trapped in a, of course, off air. I'll give you my real name off air, but I'm trapped in a prison of the devil's lettuce. There's no escape.
I see. Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. What's going on?
I am psyched because you, Ronald Raygun. By the way, I've worked on some concepts for a theme song, buddy, that I wanted to play for you, but it's been a friggin' busy. So all I did was concept it.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm deserving of that. I think that's a lot of...
Oh, Jesus Christ. If Cliff Schecter is deserving of it, you sure as hell are, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Cliff's got nothing to me, let's be honest. Should we have some real talk about Cliff? No, just kidding.
Yes, one of the things I love to do on my podcast here is make fun of and criticize majority of the FM people. Yeah, in a fun way.
So who listens to your show? Because you just say Ronald Raygun. Is it understood that the majority of your listeners are crossovers? They're going to know, what's going on.
I think that's how I roll. Yes. That's my main outlet for stuff. I mean, there's also other listeners though, for sure. So I try to I'm crossing them into the majority report with Sam Cedar people. That's where you hear Jimmy Reefer Cake songs on Fridays and theme songs. Hell yeah.
Right. So what do you want to talk about today?
Ronald Raygun, you're like a legend. Your phone calls are legendary to the majority report. Tell me about how fun is it to call in, and why do you call in?
How fun is it to call in? It's pretty fun. I think usually I'm just trying to get them to laugh, which is sort of the goal. Sometimes I have a serious point or both, but yeah, probably because Michael said this once actually, and it's a little bit true. My wife doesn't think I'm that funny, so I've got to make somebody laugh. So it's those guys.
The wives don't. I mean, especially how many years have you been with your wife? This is not a show about personal things, by the way.
No, it's fine. About 8 years. Yeah.
Yes. So that's plenty of time for all your jokes to kind of get less and less funny.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Did she laugh in the beginning though?
Seems like it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the pattern.
Yeah, you know it. You know what's going on.
I'm a funny guy too, man. I'd like to think of myself as that. Sometimes I think the songs to me I laugh at, and they're more funny to me than maybe Sam and Michael on that particular day. But hey, do you like my songs, Ronald Raygun?
Yeah, of course. I think they're great. I think they're really funny.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I like to do it. And I tell you what, the positive support feels great, keeps me doing it.
Hey, you make any money doing music? Do you do shows and stuff, or is this just like you in your basement? What's the deal?
I'm not making any shows right now, but people have paid me to write songs. And I actually put it out there as, hey, anybody want me to write you a custom song? It's $100, period. Tell me what you want the song about. And people have taken me up on that just a couple times a year over the past, 10 years.
Right. That's cool. So let me ask you a question. Why did you block Michael Brooks on Twitter?
Well,
I feel like I need to mediate this because, Michael is a dear friend, and I'd like you to be a dear friend too, but that puts me right in the middle of something weird. So let's hear about this. What's going on, man?
Oh, geez. I didn't know you were going to bring this up, but I guess.
I'm coming in hot and heavy with the real stuff.
But okay, here's what it is. I think many times I challenge him to a debate when he calls out a position that, I don't think anybody's always right. You know what I mean? Like, so Michael Brooks is definitely not always correct on his and he tries to make it sound like he's got the stake on, the super duper smart way to figure out everything. And he puts everything into different tracks and bada boom. And you get the dumb left. You know his dumb left phrase,
You
right?
feel like he's arrogant, maybe?
Yes. And if you are going to be that way, and then I'm probably a little arrogant too, but I'm mostly a shit stirrer. So I get in there, I'm like, hey man, talk about the dumb left. What's up? You want to come on my podcast, dude? What's up? Let's do it. Matt Leck came on. He was awesome. So I've been pestering him.
Wait, so is it that you're mad that he won't come on your show?
Yeah.
That's why you blocked him?
It's funny that I actually blocked him.
This is the thing. You're not going to accomplish your goal, which sounds like it's to have him on your show, if you've got him blocked. I mean, you're working against your own goal here. So
yeah, Twitter is so crazy for me sometimes, man. I wouldn't even have a Twitter account if it wasn't for the Majority Report, because that was when they started the show, like 8 years ago or something, long time ago. He was like, sign up for a Twitter account and then you do this, some sort of retweeting thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then lately,
but you're obviously taking it seriously if you're on there, blocking individuals. I don't think I've ever blocked anyone. Can't you just I guess here's the thing that seems weird to me. I would block somebody if they were harassing me, but it doesn't strike me as the situation that Michael was harassing you. Maybe even went the other way. You were probably, like you said, stirring the poop with Michael, and it just seems weird, Jimmy. I feel like you guys need to sit down and roll a fat one.
Yes.
Hug it out.
Michael Brooks, I'm sorry. I'll unblock you right after this recording.
We'll see. I'm gonna follow up on that.
Let's see if Michael Brooks listens to this podcast. That's what we're gonna find out for sure.
If he listens to this,
yeah, is he gonna hear this? Is he gonna listen to it? And then he knows too much, maybe.
I don't know. He's not gonna listen. Let's be honest.
Well, probably not. If he's already denying to go. So I blocked him, but I'll unblock him and I'll try to get him to come on again. I kind of did it to control my own desire to harass him, I guess.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I would encourage you to just leave him blocked.
Right.
It sounds like you guys have a healthy thing, or what's healthy, and you've taken the steps to achieve that. So
yeah, that's kind of what it is, man. Yeah, the thing he talks about when he says dumb left, it's like he attributes. Can I give you an example? Let's get into the actual substance, right? You dig it? Sure. All right. So like the example of dumb left just the other day, he's talking about, and they all kind of get in this boat too. And that's why I'd really love to just break it down with him like I am now with you is all right, dumb left. It's this thing he labels, which is basically Jimmy Dore, I guess, and people like that. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think there is a faction of the far left, or the progressive wing of the Democratic, or progressives in general, who, not all of them, but some of them, who are divorced from certain realities.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps, but like that's what he's saying for it. So he's saying like the Russia situation. So Hillary Clinton was saying she wanted this no-fly zone in Syria, and it was an issue. Bernie talked about it with her, and he was saying he didn't really think it's a good idea. Obama didn't think it was a good idea. Fucking Trump didn't even think it was a good idea. And so in the middle of the campaign, the campaign, the campaign, whatever you say, in the middle of it there, maybe say October, I don't know, some point in it, this general, which I don't have his name, but he's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or something. And he came out and he said, and this is why all the, what he calls the dumb left, he's the guy who said a no-fly zone in Syria equates to a war with Russia and Syria. And I kind of buy that because, you know, I think that you can't just go around and say no fly, but we can drop bombs here. We're going to drop bombs here. You're not allowed to fly. That's a war.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. So it was the generals. It was the general who was saying that.
Yeah. What's your point?
My point is that Michael Brooksy was saying it was the dumb left. That a quick just thing. He's like, yeah, the dumb left are the, you know, a lot of them think that war with Russia, Hillary would cause a war with Russia or whatever. But it wasn't the dumb left. It was the fucking generals. Yeah, I mean, that particular guy, you know, I mean, he is an actual general. I feel like what he does is incorrect, is to blame a lot of things or even attribute views to the dumb, what he calls the dumb left, which I'll just say is me. That's what I am then. I'm the dumb left, you know, and I'm not dumb. I don't think I am. And even if I was, you know, dumb to according to who? I mean, everybody's dumb to somebody else who doesn't understand them, right?
I guess I'm, to be honest, I'm not versed enough to speak on what the policy implications or what the on the ground implications of Hillary's proposed Syria policy would have been. I don't know. I don't think she was calling for war with Russia. I mean,
no, she wasn't.
So I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I think that the issue is, you know, I'm an immigration attorney, so what I see, for example, are people like Jimmy Dore saying, oh, well, you don't need Trump because Obama was deporting a lot of people, which is true. Obama deported a lot of people. Obama was not great on immigration for a lot of reasons. But Trump is worse, and Trump is worse than Hillary would have been, even though I know all the clips of Hillary saying she wanted a border barrier. I know all the clips of Hillary saying we've got to send the Central American kids back.
Yeah.
Hillary was also, like Obama, not great, but you know, as humans, we're constantly making valuation judgments between two things that are not ideal, and that's what the election came down to. You know, two things that are not ideal. Which one is worse? Well, you know, there was no question that one was worse, but the inability of a certain type of people or a certain group of people to recognize that no, this thing is actually worse, and to go around saying that they were the same, or even that you know, the worst one would be better because it would usher in an era of, you know, left-wing revolution or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the
dumb. That's the dumb.
Yeah, for me, I you know, because I deal with this stuff every day, and then I turn on Jimmy Dore, who I used to, you know, really love listening to his show, and I hear him, you know, screaming about how Trump is just a continuation of Obama in every way, and it's like, well, no, that's objectively untrue. And so the issue is, to me, is clear, which is he has a narrative, and he's going to cram the facts or cherry pick the facts that he needs to cherry pick to fit this idea that he has that, you know, they're all the same.
The Jimmy Dore, yeah, the narrative of, well, you know, the only thing that I like to do here is that I say, even so, is what I come to now after the election. Even so, I've seen Jimmy Dore just get angrier and angrier as the establishment Democrats just hold on to their power and don't change and stuff. So here's my question to you on that is how is don't you think that no matter what, guys like Jimmy Dore, and me, I'm on the I live in both worlds. I voted for Hillary, but I still liked my Green Party and my Libertarian guys, like I'm a multi-phase guy. I think that's what you got to be. So like, given that though Jimmy Dore is not dumb, he's very stubborn, principled. That's what I use the word. The words that matter that apply are, and he would probably take that and say, "Yes, I am. I am fucking stubborn as fuck. I'm Jimmy Dore."
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah,
it's to me, it's good to be principled, but what good are principles if you don't focus on outcomes? If
it's true.
And outcomes ultimately matter. And so, for my clients right now who are afraid to go to the store, or who are getting picked up and harassed and all those things, I'd like to have Jimmy explain to them that he couldn't vote for Hillary because he's too principled. At that point, when you're facing the outcomes and the results, then
Yeah,
your principles are, totally frivolous. It doesn't
yeah.
meaningless. And
No,
so even to me, like even somebody like Noam Chomsky, who I'm a huge fan of, who is the smartest, most aggressive critic of U.S. foreign policy and U.S. policy in general, he will admit, and he did this in 2004 and 2008, and every year, there's a major election, that there are significant differences on the edges between somebody like Bush and Kerry. Yeah, Kerry was not great, but he was going to be better. Or Obama and McCain, or Trump and Hillary. So
yeah.
we're talking about the difference between, like, I don't know. I don't buy the "I'm just too principled" argument, really.
Well, I'm not even want to present it as an argument, more as like a fact of what he is. It's like what I call him, or all those folks, that are going, like, I guess before the election, you might want to call them dumb if you think you can change their minds. After now, we are where we are now. I really think we need to just like give
I
them
would
love.
I would love to move on and to be
Yeah,
on, but I don't think you see that from the very people we're talking about. I mean, Jimmy's show is basically, or every week since the election, has been a rehash of the primary, of Obama did it too. And so if anything, there's, one, I don't know. I think there's a failure to move on, perhaps by both sides, but especially by that side.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, by definition of what he is, he can't move on. He never will, because principles are what he's not to protect him is from being called. I mean, I guess that the primary starts now. Like, if he gets a Bernie for a candidate, then he's going to be happy. As far as, or any sort of candidate. So I'm trying to encourage a unifying, like, real unity, not just saying unity, but actually just being like, that's what he's pushing for, the issues I agree with. And when it comes to like some shit too, dude, like when he tells you about how Obama was already doing it, or certain things that like are getting overplayed on Trump, that the right, and like even just Trump fans and independents who love Trump, loving it every time there's like people going off on Trump on stuff that the same thing was already being done. They love, that's just money in the bank for them, for their arguments, you know?
Right. So, well, I'm
So don't use those. You know what I mean? Like learn from Jimmy Dore. He helps me know when like people are saying shit. Like some of the Russia shit gets in that territory. I guess we talked about Russia a little bit today already. You know, it's that the popular sentiment. Like if you're gonna talk about Russia and Michael Brooks does a great job, like you're gonna talk and talk and talk for a long time. I want to know what's your goal. Are you trying to avoid war with Russia? Is that the whole point of strategy here?
I think the I think, and I can't speak for Michael Brooks or Sam Cedar or anybody else, but I think the whole point of the Russia talk is that we have a president who is compromised and conflicted out of being president. That's what it has to do. I mean, to me, uh, people, I hear this all the time, like on Twitter from David Sirota and all these people. Oh, the Dems, they're obsessed with Russia, Russia, Russia.
Yes, that's
It
what I'm
doesn't,
talking about.
to
Yeah,
me, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's Russia. It could be Finland or El Salvador or whatever. If the president had um, some weird cloudy investment in uh, the mines in Chile and seemed to be shaping his foreign policy around, this thing that would personally enrich him, then that would be just as big a problem. And so, yeah, peace is an important goal, but you're deluding yourself if you think that Trump is in this for world peace with Russia. I mean, that's not the issue. The issue is that we don't know anything about his financial dealings. We know since day one he's been doing things that personally enrich himself, like signing off on the pipelines that he's invested in. And I think the Democrats could be probably clearer on their messaging, and make sure that people understand that that's really what this is about. But to me, at least,
yeah,
that's what it's about. I don't care. It's not about Cold War stuff at all. It's just about,
yeah.
if Hillary, I don't know. I don't know. That's
I hear you totally. It's the fine. I mean, but of course, like if you were sitting there, this is your choice. Trump could make, some obscene amount of money, like all the other people who are making obscene amounts of money doing this thing, which is bad. I agree. So there's one thing, but then there's a totally other thing, like a war with Russia, or even this no-fly zone period. Like I would almost say, it seems to me a better deal to let Trump make millions of dollars like all these other assholes, and then avoid. And I see, because I don't even know that none of us know, I guess, but that general saying a no-fly zone's a bad thing is a war. So it's like that's a big thing too, where people are mixing up the whole thing, and it's almost insanely that it sounds like some Democrats are
but
seeming.
we just talked about moving on from the primary, and so
Yeah,
we are where we are now. So at,
true.
at this point, to say that, well, the Hillary thing would have been worse is irrelevant.
Right.
Hillary's not the president. Hillary's walking her dog, uh, sadly, through
Yeah,
somewhere, and so it doesn't make any difference at this point. I mean,
I agree.
unless you're trying to
Yeah.
justify your support of Trump or something like that. But at this point, if Hillary had won, then the issue we would be tackling is just the one that you're saying, that hey, we don't want a no-fly zone because we think it's dangerous, and we would be lobbying her to change that position and to avoid a nuclear holocaust. That's what we would be doing. But
Hmm.
she didn't win, and we've got a president who's uh super corrupt. And so
Right.
I think that all Americans have a right to, um, not only a right, but probably an obligation to push for transparency and to get rid of corruption in their government. And that's what's happening. I mean, um, yeah,
Yeah. I like that. I guess it my That's all. I guess it's kind of coming down to the image of the Democrats in general. Like, I think that hurts their image where they could have been saying more. I mean, we deal with Saudi Arabia, which is like deadly bastards from hell. According to that, they do public floggings. They chop your heads off. They execute children. So it's like we deal with them. We're going to deal with them. So the Democrats are making this Putin. I think I'd like it. This is what I prefer for the Democrats if it was like it was with Obama when Romney was like, Russia's our number one problem. And Obama was like, hey, you're living in the past, brother.
But I don't think anybody's saying, hold on just one second. Okay, I gotta knock on my door. I gotta actually run here pretty soon. But here's what I would say. I don't think anybody is saying you can't talk to Putin or you can't deal with the Russians or you can't, strike a deal with the regime that you disagree with. That's not the issue at all. That's and that's what you're seeing now. Like, oh well, Nancy Pelosi talked to Vladimir Putin. Well, okay, nobody said you couldn't talk to these people. But it is weird that they're, first of all, lying about it, that they're doing it in secret. It's weird that we don't know anything about Trump's financial situation. To me, even if the Russia thing didn't exist, the fact that he hasn't divested from his company is reason enough to investigate and to figure out, what's going on. And so,
hell yeah. Figure out what the hell's going on. You're absolutely right.
And then, at the end of the day, like, there's always going to be, examples of the other side doing it, and that's the hypocrisy, I guess, that you're talking about. Like, oh, well, Hillary had conflicts too, or this or that. Well, okay.
Oh God, if I started getting into that Clinton Foundation stuff and going into,
well, okay.
Yeah.
Putting aside the fact that there's like actual differences between those two things.
Oh, there are, absolutely.
We're just dealing with the realities that we have now, which is that he's the president. He should be representing the American people.
Yeah,
and that he should be doing so free of.
Hey, dude, what? Like, sorry to interrupt, but like, I know we're running short on time, and I think the whole thing is, to sum up, I don't want to say there's anything wrong with going after Trump on any sort of way. I'm just saying that there's like this problem where our messaging, we're losing elections. And I think a message of peace, is what's going to unify Greens, Libertarians, and Democrats.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. It would be nice to have actual peace candidates.
Thank you, brother. That's my main thing, because I hate Trump. He's a friggin' dog, and you're an immigration lawyer. You're fucking working with people who he's been demonizing like a fucking, just disgusting pig from hell. Like the first time I saw him and one of his rallies is like scared the living shit out of me. And I've never supported him. I voted for Hillary, even though I don't want to get into how much I hate her too. But like Trump, he was talking about how there's a story that he was telling to the whole crowd where he's like, you dip the bullets in the pig's blood. And then that's what this old guy did back, real bad general back in the day. Did you hear him tell that story ever or hear that?
I don't remember that, but
dude, yeah. How about how this old general dipped bullets in pig's blood and executed a bunch of people, and the crowd was eating that up. So that's gross.
Hey, I gotta run. I agree.
Gotcha, buddy.
Why don't you go ahead and unblock Michael, and then we'll all hang out.
All right, my man. You're a cool dude, Ronald. Take care, brother.
You bet.